So there's a lot of new astrology apps out there, and you're probably wondering which one is the best for me. Or maybe you're just getting into astrology and you want to be able to have an app on your phone that tells you maybe your daily horoscope, or maybe helps you learn how to read your chart a little bit better and understand astrology more fluently. Well, I went ahead and did all the work for you, and I downloaded all of the apps, tried them all out, and I'm here to tell you guys the best astrology apps out there for 2020. Most of these are, well, actually all of these are going to be on iOS, and most of these are going to be also available on Android. So regardless of what platform you use, there are apps out there for you. And be sure to stick around to the end, because I'm also going to share with you guys a couple of apps that I found that aren't necessarily astrology related. They are more astronomy related, but they are really fun, and they do teach you a lot more about our universe and different ways to see it. No, none of these apps are paying me to do this. I did this all on my own because I too have been through the phase of going, I want a good astrology app, but didn't know necessarily what was out there, what I could find, if I even knew what I was looking for. And so today I'm just going to go over every type of astrology app, whether you are a beginner or advanced astrologer, or maybe you're just wanting to talk to astrologers, get your daily horoscope, whatever it is that you want to do, I've got an app for you. If this is your first time on my channel and your first time ever seeing my face, hello, my name is Cam White. I'm a professional astrologer, and on this channel I do weekly horoscopes, monthly horoscopes, I talk about Mercury retrogrades, and a whole lot more. So if you like this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and also let me know what apps you end up downloading and which ones work best for you and how you end up enjoying them. Now with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the reviews. So the first app I want to talk about is Time Passages. It is an absolute staple for astrologers. I feel like every astrologer I know has Time Passages regardless if they use it. What's really cool about Time Passages is right when you open it up, it shows you where the sun's at, where the moon is at. It lets you know if the moon is void of course. Honestly, every app has a different calculation for how they do the moon being void of course, and I personally think Time Passages does it a little bit too strictly. The moon always seems to be void of course on Time Passages, but that's just my opinion. But you can also pull up the current chart for wherever you're at. So if you're doing electional astrology, this really helps out, or if some event happens, you can just pull up and see what's going on and what transits were hitting you at that moment. So what else is cool about Time Passages is that it really goes into a deep description on your birth chart. If you go to the settings where it says, you see it where it says me, Cam, you click my chart, and it shows your chart, but then you can go to the planets, Sun and Leo, it'll tell you all about that, where the degrees, the minutes are, it'll give you descriptions, but what else is really cool is it goes into the aspects, and it'll let you know what aspects you have in your chart. And I know when you first get into astrology, learning aspects can be really difficult. This app makes it really, really easy to learn the aspects. And yes, this app is available on Android. It does have a daily horoscope. It's really fun. There's got a lot of different things for it. There's a free version and a paid for version. The paid for version unlocks a lot of other things, but I think it'll be better for you guys to download it and to try it out for yourselves. The only thing I really don't care for about Time Passages, it doesn't allow you to move the chart like a lot of other apps do. Like on Astro Gold, you can move it a day, an hour, a minute. On Time Passages, it is a fixed chart. You can only refresh it for whatever moment that you want to pull up a chart for. Now the next app I want to talk about is Astro Gold, and I'm just going to put it out there. This app costs $40. I would have never ever paid $40 for an app. That sounds ridiculous to me, but so many people were like, Cameron, you've got to get Astro Gold. It's so amazing, and I bought it, and I'm blown away with how amazing this app is. I use this app more than any of these other apps. It's so worth the $40 if you just buy it. What's great about this app is what you can do is you go to the view, we could pull up any chart that we want to, whether it's a birth chart, a chart for the moment. But let's say we refresh it for right now, February 5th, 4 o'clock p.m. here in Los Angeles. Now I can move this however much I want to. So if I want to cast a chart, we can move it a couple minutes and see what the chart's going to look like. I can do a couple hours. I can do 1 hour at a time. I can do 12. I can do 30 hours at a time. I can do, so many different combinations to be able to move a chart. And if you're doing, magical astrology, you're doing electional astrology, you're, just wanting to see more of what's going to play out, whatever you're using astrology for, it is so, so handy to be able to move that chart. Astro Gold lets you do that. It also lets you save a ton of charts within the app, so you don't always have to put in someone's data. You can just pull it up all right there. It lets you choose what your display points are. So as you can see, I have the traditional planets plus Chiron, the outer planets. But if you want to put Vesta, Juno, if you want to put all of these things, Lilith, the co-ascendant. There's so many different things that you could put on this. You could show your aspects. It also has this custom setting where you can go, hey, do I want to use the tropical zodiac, or do I want to use any type of the sidereal zodiacs? What house system do I want to use? What type of lunar node do I want to use? It's super, super detailed. It's super, super great. So in case you guys haven't downloaded Astro Gold yet, I highly recommend it. And I'm sure someone's already told you to download it. But now Astro Gold is available on Android. It does do birth charts. It doesn't do a daily horoscope, but usually if you're downloading Astro Gold, you're not really interested in a daily horoscope. It is literally top tier. Absolutely amazing, in my opinion, the best thing that you can get, so I wanted to start off with that. But yeah, it is $40. That's the only drawback, but it's worth it in my opinion. Now, the next app I want to talk about is called Charts. I think that's how you'll just look it up on the iOS app. It's got this cool little flame emoji looking thing. It doesn't have an Android yet, but they say it's coming soon. I don't know when soon is, but they say soon. What I really like about this app is it's really, really handy dandy for beginners. It does birth charts. It has the full circle chart. It does daily horoscopes. It looks super, super clean. It's very simple layout. And what I really like about it is when you go to your profile and you click me and you look at, your chart, it'll show you a really easy layout to understand how transiting astrology is affecting you. So it says current transit on Aquarius, Aquarius sun's influence on Camway. Current transit influence on ego, personality, individuality, reveals talents, brings prosperity to authority, reputation, status, and how it's phrasing it, how it's working it out, I think makes astrology a lot more easier to digest and really understand how to apply aspects in your personal life. So you don't have to rely on apps telling you, and you can start understanding the transiting astrology and how it's affecting you more for yourself. This is a newer app. Not a lot of people have heard about them. However, it's a really good app for beginners. It'll tell you all about the transits, your chart, the houses. It literally has everything that you could want for a beginner. It's kind of like time passages, but not as complicated, because time passages can get a little complicated too. This is really easy and smooth and efficient. So the next app I want to talk about is Sanctuary. Now, I'm just going to briefly hit on this one because it's not my favorite, but I think there's people out there that can definitely benefit from this app. Sanctuary, it's a really great daily horoscope app where you can actually talk to live astrologers and get a little bit better understanding of your chart. It goes into the meaning of like your moon, and it keeps you reading. It's a very engaging app, but it is really handy for people who are just learning, and especially if you want to talk to an astrologer and not get like a full reading, just be able to message someone right there. These are actual astrologers, so I definitely would recommend this if this is what you're looking for. So the next app I'm going to talk about is an app called The Pattern. It's really popular right now along with CoStar, even though I do not recommend downloading CoStar. The Pattern is interesting to me. It takes the astrology out of astrology and really brings some, Briggs Myers to it with, kind of giving you updates about your personality and quote unquote your pattern. Now it is really cool the way that they do it though, because it'll tell you, what's kind of going on for you and when, and it tells you about your timing and how long, like fears and surrender. I got 7 months left of fears and surrenders. Relationship evolution, I have 11 months left. Wow. And I'm still learning about all this, but you can click it and you can understand it a little bit more. It really does bring a lot more psychological aspect into it, and is it astrology, is it not astrology? Who knows, but a lot of people really get into this app, and I looked at it and it's a pretty cool app. It's not my favorite, but it's worth mentioning in this video. Unfortunately, it is iOS only, and like I said, it doesn't have charts. It's pretty cool for timing stuff, but I don't really know how it works. Now, in this other app, Astro Future, I'm pretty sure this one is, oh no, it's actually not for Android. However, what's cool about Astro Future is it shows you, for one, you can move the chart, kind of. It only lets you go past a few years, which it's really cool. It just shows you a little bit more of how the planets move. It's kind of nifty. Then it tells you, if you swipe up, gives you a little bit more description of what's going on, gives you some special dates, but that's really about it. Nothing too wild or crazy. Now here's where we get to the juicy part. Here's one app that professional astrologers have been downloading over and over and over again, and I'm so glad I was told to download this app. It is absolutely amazing. It's called Time Nomad. And Time Nomad is really cool because, for one, it's free. It's really cool because it gives you literally every single tool you could ever imagine. you know, there's still parts of this app I'm learning that because there's just so much involved with it. But like, you can go to your dashboard. It lets you know what the sun is doing when it rises, when it sets. It lets you know where the moon's at. It tells you the lunation cycle. It lets you go into retrograde planets, fixed star conjunctions. It gives you all of these crazy analytics and details. It has a summary for you to go over. It has world events. It does a chart for right now. And you can also only put certain aspects on those charts. You can move the day for those charts. You can go into fixed stars if you pay for it. But you can also do planetary hours on it, which, as far as I understand, this is the only app I know of that actually does planetary hours. Unless you know another app that does do planetary hours, please let me know down below. This is the only app I actually know that does planetary hours. And then it does, if you swipe all of this stuff, I don't even know what this stuff is. To see, is still stuff I'm learning. Like, I don't know exactly what that is, but maybe it's not for me. So anyway, this is really cool for advanced astrologers where you guys just want the tools for everything. I recommend Astro Gold and I recommend Time Nomad. It goes into the transit charts for your chart, transit list. It does literally everything you can think of. Now, this next app I found by accident. While I was doing this research for this video and I was looking into all the apps, you run into a problem where a lot of them are just daily horoscope apps, and I always recommend the big one, the daily horoscope, the one with the DH. That's what I used when I first got into it, and I actually do really like it. There are other daily horoscope apps, but I really wanted to get into more of the juicier astrology apps. And this app I thought was interesting because it was way down on the list, and it just kind of looked like something, you know, like I would gloss over, but it's called Moonreader. It's all one word. And Moonreader is really cool because, for one, it lets you know where all of the void of course moons are going to be and what signs, what dates, when it starts, when it ends. But if I slide over here, it gives this really cool thing. So it goes into all will just kind of go into everything that you can think of on one slide, regarding the moon, that is. But then it has this thing called affirmation. I have no idea what affirmation is. It's really cool though if it's in an app, and if you know what affirmation is, it at least shows you when it starts, when it ends, and what sign it'll be. I'm assuming this has to do something with the moon. It lets you know when the void of course is, the moon phase, moon perigee, moon ingress, sun ingress, Mercury retrogrades. And what's also cool is we can go to the Mercury retrograde here and we can click it and it'll show you the chart and all of the aspects for that Mercury retrograde and what it's going to be ruled by. Unfortunately, it doesn't do traditional ruling. That was the only thing I was disappointed with this app. As we all should know, Mars rules Scorpio, not Pluto, and if you have a problem with that, say it in the comments. I'm not going to listen to you. Mars rules Scorpio, not Pluto. Anyway, that's what they do. That's the only drawback on this app. Other than that, it's really good for just knowing the dates of when things are going to happen, being able to see the charts for it. So that can be, you know, applicable and useful in a lot of different situations in astrology. But yeah, this is a really cool app. I've never heard anyone talk about it. I kind of just found it. And this is probably one of my favorite apps now that I have it. And it is only available for iOS as far as I understand. I couldn't find it on Android. However, it did take me a little while to find it on iOS. So it could be there on Android. Someone please let me know. And so those are the best astrology apps that I could find at the moment. So regardless if you're a professional astrologer, someone who's just getting into astrology and wanting to find better apps to have access to it, those are exactly what I recommend. That's what a lot of astrologers use as well. And if maybe you haven't heard of some of these apps, download them. I definitely recommend trying them all out and seeing which one's going to be the best for you. Now, I do have 3 more apps to share with you guys today. These apps aren't necessarily astrology related, but are so awesome and so mind-blowing. I love every single one of them. So the first one is just called Moon. Not the moon, just Moon. I'm pretty sure it's only available on iOS. It's not available on Android. Sorry, but just get an iPhone. What I love about Moon is that it doesn't really do anything but show you a graphic of what the moon would look like outside. If you swipe the moon over, it'll show you what phase the moon is in, at what percent, when the new moon, when the full moon is. But why you should download this app is for the text messages it sends you. If you turn on your notifications for this app, it is literally the best thing ever. It's always sending you random, like every new moon, every full moon, it is always sending you random yet ambiguous and slightly having a hint of being omen type texts. So I would definitely recommend downloading it just for the text that it sends for the new moon and the full moon. Now, these next 2 apps are available on Android, so Android users, you actually have a little bit of hope gleaming. This next one, you guys should honestly all have this one. I feel like everyone has this one. It's called Skyview. You can get the light version, it's free, but basically what it does is it shows you all of the planets and the stars here. I'm kind of doing it right now. All of the planets and all of the stars, kind of labeled, and you can put your little pointer thing on a specific star and it'll tell you about that star, what the name is. It shows you where the constellations are, where the planet is, where the horizon is. It even shows you where the International Space Station is and where the Hubble telescope is. And it's honestly really fun. It also plays this ominous like music. Like, listen. So this is a really fun thing if you want to go outside at nighttime and turn on your music and it's like, ooh, and you can look at all the stars and see where everything's at. It's really cool for astronomy and just getting yourself a little bit more aware of the night sky and what's actually above you. And then the last one I want to recommend is this really dope app called Solar Walk. You can get a light version where it's free. There's a paid for version. I don't know what the paid for version does. However, what's cool about this is it gives you a completely three-dimensional perspective of our solar system and of our galaxy. Like, you can zoom all the way out, all the way to the Milky Way. Unfortunately, you can't go past the Milky Way because I don't really think any of that is mapped. But you can go through the Milky Way, mostly towards our sun and our solar system. You could zoom in on our star. You could zoom in on any single planet that you want. So if you zoom in on Earth, it'll give you some details about Earth. I mean, we should all know what Earth is at this point. This is our home planet. Now, if we do exit out of Earth, and then we can basically repositions itself, and then we move around. Let's go to Venus. Boom. And if you click on Venus, it tells you a little bit more about Venus. You can click the little slides, or you can get more information on a scroll. This is just an awesome way to get to know the universe around you in a three-dimensional perspective, and it'll give you facts and insights into all of the planets, and it's just a really cool way to like look at everything if you're ever bored and just, you know, curious about the stars and the planets and want more information about them. So that's what I got for you guys today. I really hope you guys found an app that maybe you haven't heard of before, or an app that was exactly what you were looking for, and I really do hope that you check out the other apps that, you know, weren't necessarily about astrology but really about astronomy, because they are really fun, and astronomy is very integral to astrology. And once again, guys, my name is Cameron White. If you like this video, please give me a like, and if you want to receive weekly horoscopes, monthly horoscopes, and more videos about Mercury retrogrades and other astrology type videos, please subscribe to my channel. And if there's other apps I haven't heard of, or other apps that you guys might recommend that I didn't talk about in this video, please comment below as well. Download these apps, let me know what you think in the comments below. I'd love to hear more feedback from you guys. So take care, and I'll see you next time.